Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show the process of my research on the economy of Czech Republic. First, I want to introduce myself. I am the student of Tashkent State University of Economics of the Faculty of Business Administration. I am the first year student of bachelor's degree in TSUE. My full name is Nurmurodova Malika and my group number is MO29. So let's get started. Now, I want to show you the criteria that we have, because from these criteria we will start to analyze the economy of the Czech Republic. Here are the criteria we have. First, country World Bank open data profile. Let's begin with the first one. In order to do the first stage, we need to search from the internet World Bank open data. After that, we need to click to the first website, which is the official one. And after clicking here, we need to find our country that we are looking for. In my case, I will type Czechia. So now we need to download the Excel file, because we only need the Excel file. After downloading the Excel file, we need to click to it and open it. So after opening this file, we need to enable it for editing, and then we need to add the first new sheet where we will transfer all data on a transposed version. So first we need to start with year. In this case, we will start to copy the first row. The fourth row. After copying it, we need to paste it, but not just paste it. We will paste it in transpose version. After pasting it, we need to find three variables. In my case, I want to make a research of the Czech Republic economy in terms of its trade, food exports and agriculture. So in that case, I need to find variables which will be suitable to this. So here is the one, food exports. Let's get and copy it. After copying it, we need to paste it to the B column in the transposed version. And let's do it again, but with another variables. Here is the agriculture, forestry and fishing value. So we need to copy this row and we need to paste it in the transpose version to the C row column. And again, we need to do the same thing with the trade row too. Copy it, and after copying it, we need to paste it in a transpose version in D column. So we have done all of the copying and pasting stuff. Now we need to delete some the names that we don't need. Here, instead of name, we can just write here year. And here we don't need these things, so let's delete them. we finished deleting them, and now we need to shorten these variables names and put the line in order to make it easier for Stata to read it. After finishing it, let's shorten this. Here is it. We did this file and now we just need to save it. But we shouldn't save it with all these things. First we need to delete these things. Everything that we don't need anymore, because we have already created sheet which we will need for our first research. So now let's delete here these things. And now we only have it, and let's just save it. So after saving, let's start our research on Stata. First we need to open Stata. And we will start our analysis by log and begin. And now, after finishing it, the first thing that we have to do, we need to import. We need to do import from Excel spreadsheet. I created the file in advance, so there is a file called variables. We need just click to this, and we need to click to the first, import first row as variable names. In that case, it will be easier for us to work. So now we need to check whether it's going alright or not. In order to know that, we need to write B-var and we need to press enter button. As you can see, here is years are in red color. It means it's going wrong. In order to make it right, we need to enter to the data and create and change data. And from here, we need to click to the other variable transformation comments. And from here, we need to convert variables from string to numeric. After finishing it, we need to press to the first one, and the second year should be written with a big letter. And now we can easily drop the first variable. So we drop this first variable, and now let's check it again. As you can see, everything is now correct because it's not red anymore. So after doing this, the next thing that we have to do is create a do file. If we're creating do file, we need to write the number of comments, and so I have already created a do file. So let's, in my case, we will just add this file, and here is it. We can work with this do file just by giving it comment with the help of this button, which is called execute. Just typing is enough, and pressing the execute button, and here is our results. This is the scatter plot of the trade and year. As you can see, it has done a really great job. It's giving us the analysis, it's giving us the scatter plot. So let's check with the other one and press the execute button, and here we are gonna have a gain, but in this case we are gonna have two-way scatter plot, because it's called two-way scatter plot because it has a line in the center of it. So we need to give all of to our all actions comment just by clicking to the execute button and getting the results and putting them to the Word file. But I have already done those things, so let's move to another thing. Let's just save it. Let's save it like TTA or something. Yeah. Now we exited, and then let's enter to our criteria now. We've already done the first thing, so we need to put a plus, and we also did a DTA and save it as a DTA. And now we need to open the post in the TSUE. So for it we need to write CUS. It's asking us to say, but we don't have to. So here I have already created an account on CUS. So I have already have an account on CUS. That's why it's not asking from me to create an account, as you can see. So in this case we will just put the plus here, and after that we need to find a gel code. Gel code can be found by writing gel code of Czech Republic to the inner. Here, I found all of my gel codes from this website, not from this. There was a website where I found all of my gel classification code here. So just by clicking we can find the gel code. So now I want to show you the gel code that I found in this here is my true email, and as you can see, and here is the gel codes that I have, and the paper type is research, and this is my ORCID number. I will show you now how I got my ORCID number. Just need to write ORCID and click to this website, and now let's click this. Here are the number of ORCID numbers that people have, but in my case we have my own individual ORCID number. So here is the keywords that I'm gonna use, and here is the introduction to my research. This research aims to investigate the impacts of agriculture, forestry, and fishing on the food exports and trade of the Czech Republic. These industries play a crucial role in the country's economy, and understanding their influence is essential for sustainable growth and development. Agriculture, being a major sector in the Czech Republic, contributes significantly to the country's GDP. The country's fertile soil and favorable climate have allowed for the cultivation of various crops, including wheat, barley, corn, and potatoes. Additionally, livestock farming is prevalent with a focus on pig and cattle production. The performance of the agricultural sector directly affects food exports and trade, making it an important area of examination. Forestry is another sector that has a considerable impact on the Czech Republic's economy. And the fishing industry, also relatively smaller compared to agriculture and forestry, also contributes to food exports and trade in the Czech Republic. Understanding the impacts of these three sectors on food exports and trade in the Czech Republic is important for policymakers, economists, and stakeholders. Here is my literature review. I got this literature review from Elicit, and there is also the references that I found. I also found it from the Elicit. So now let's have a look to how I found this. But first we need to enter to this and put plus to the things that we completed. And now I will show you the Elicit. I also showed you the ORCID. First we need to write Elicit here. And here we need to click Food Experts in Czechia. We need to write here. Here is the paper that I used. I don't know why it's saying that it's error, but I will show you the things that from which I got all of those things. Here is, I copied from here. I copied all of things from here. I copied main findings, funding source, and study objectives, and now it's how I got my literature review. But now I will show you how I got the reference. In order to get the reference, we need to click, and after clicking, we need to clear to the semantic scholar, and after clicking to that, we need to click to the site. Here is, and here we need to click to the APA because we need APA version, and then we need to click to the copy, and now it's copied. After copying it, I pasted it, and then I copied this site .e and this, and I also pasted it in order to get the reference. Here there how I got my reference and literature review. I got 10 of them. Here is how I did APA style. So, and now I'm gonna show you my Word file, and I'm gonna describe it to you. Next thing that we have here is the methods. Here is a correlation of Pearson and ordinary least squares regression, order logistic regression, comparative analysis, data validation, and here is my analysis and my result. So this table shows the summarization of Czech Republic's data. In the first column, variables are going to be appeared. Second column describes the observation number, which means 63 years data is observed and trade of GDP was observed for 53 years, and same interpretation with other variables too. Mean presents the average point for each variable. For example, average point for agriculture, forestry and fishery is 21578.93. Standard deviation describes variables how far or close to the mean point. Food expert standard deviation value is 1.035, and for year it is 18.33. Mean means the minimum point of a variable, which in trade of GDP is 63.497. Max is the maximum value of variables. For example, maximum value of food experts was 8.117 points. Here is the picture 1 and the explanation of it. As you can see, the line graph shown above depicts the relationship between years and trade of GDP. Trade of GDP reached in its peak with 100 points in around 2010s. In general, during the period of 1960-2020, trade of GDP showed a positive relationship with approximately 7 units. And here is the picture 2 and the explanation of it. The graph above gives information about the agriculture, forestry and fishery sector in Czech Republic during the period from 1960s to 2020. Service of agriculture, forestry and fishery rising from 1,000 to 3,000 points. And here is the third picture. In this line graph, you can see the decreasing trend in food exports with about $4 till 2020. Picture 4. It's the combined form of 3 lines that I already described. This is the two-way scatter plot. Given graph depicts the relationship among trade of GDP and agriculture, forestry and fishery services. There is a positive relationship between those two variables as the line-fitted values grow. As you can see, the line in the middle is going up. That's why this is the positive relationship. And here is our next two-way scatter plot in the picture 7. Given graph depicts the relationship among trade of GDP and year. There is a positive relationship between those two variables as the line-fitted values grow. Here is another picture, and here we can see the negative relationship because the line is going down. Given graph depicts the relationship among trade of GDP and food export. There is a negative relationship between those two variables as the line-fitted values goes down. Here is the combination of 4 two-way scatter plots. And here is the scatter plot. Scatter plot above demonstrates the relationship between dependent and independent variable trade of GDP. While year gets the value of 80, trade of GDP gets approximately 140 points. And here is the pairwise correlation. This is table 2. 1 unit increase in year caused 93% increase in agriculture, forestry and fishery, 94% increase in trade of GDP, and 33% decrease in food exports. Except year, all other variables have significant correlation because of the p-value. P-value should be lower than 0.005. And here is another table which is called Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman correlation describes the monotonic relationship between variables. 1 unit increase in year can cause 18% decrease in food exports and 95% increase in trade of GDP. 1 unit rising in agriculture, forestry and fishery service can lead to 23% slim down in food exports category. And here we can see the scatter plot, P norm. It's called P norm. And here is the histogram. The histogram describes the information about the distribution of the dataset. Shape of distribution should be bell shape. Bin size are the same in year. Agriculture, forestry, and fishery is not skewed because the cursive line is in the middle, and it's not normally distributed because the line is not giving the bell shape. It's the definition of the 17th picture. And here is another histogram, 18th picture. Trend of GDP is not skewed because the cursive line in the middle, and it's not normal just because the line is not giving the bell shape. And here is another histogram. Food express is positively skewed because it's in the right direction, and it's not normally distributed because it's not giving the bell shape. It's clear that the highest bin is very close to 5. And here is the combination of histograms. Here is our other graph, which is called graph box. Given graph box above describes that 75% of the data, the median located inside the box, is equals to 1991. Two lines that span from the first quartile given 25% of information. Here is another graph box. In this graph plot, a median point in agriculture, forestry, and fishery is 23,000, which represents the central tendency of the data set. And here is another graph box, and also another graph box. And here is the combination of 4 graph boxes that I mentioned above. And in this graph shows the comparison of graph box, because you can see here different types of graphs. One of them is blue, and this represents the trade, and the second of them is red, which represents agriculture, forestry, and fishery. And here is Shapiro-Wilk W testing for normal data. It's the first table. A Shapiro-Wilk test checks if a statistical test used to assess whether a dataset follows a normal distribution to the value of W range from between 0 and 1. In our result, all of our variables are normally distributed as they very close to 1. In this table, all of our p-values are non-significant except food experts with 0 p-values need to be lower than 0.005, which is 5%. Here is the linear regression. Linear regression represents the linear relationship between dependent and independent variables. In this regression, observation number is 27. As you can see, here we have the observation number, which is 23. And F-test assesses the overall significance of linear regression. In our regression, F-test equals to 153.882, and the probability of the F-test is 0, which means the relationship between dependent and independent variables is significant. R squared means that our 95% of the dependent variable year is expressed by independent variables, while the rest of it, which is 5%, is started by other factors. Coming to the coefficiency part, it describes that 1 unit increase in the year has a positive effect with 0 points in year. Standard error quantifies the variability or uncertainty associated with the estimated coefficient. For example, standard error in agriculture, forestry, fishery category is equal to 0, which demonstrates the fact that there are no errors in this analysis process. T-test or student test describes that every independent variable has its HO hypothesis. This test also has a p-value that needs to be lower than 0.005. When the p-value of the test is lower than 5%, that means the variable is significant. In this test, every dependent variable is significant except food experts, so we reject the HO hypothesis and accept the HA hypothesis in this variable. Here is the linear regression that we have. This is called robust regression. Robust linear regression is designed to be more resistant to the influence of outliers and deviators from assumptions compared to traditional linear regression. In standard error category, the value differs. To example, trade of GDP is 0.25 errors in robust, while in traditional linear regression it's equal to 0.29. Here is the alpha test. The alpha test assesses the significance of the relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variable in regression analysis. The coefficient is 0.0176, which indicates the statistical significance. Here is the VIF, variance inflation factor for independent variables, which is indicator of problem of collinearity in analysis. This value should be lower than 10. If it's lower than 10, that indicates that you don't have problem with collinearity. In our value, it's lower than 10, which describes that our analysis doesn't have problem with collinearity. Here is the linear prediction. The prediction value in this graph, we can see the prediction, which is linear and is possibly skewed because the cursive line is in the right side, and it's normal distributed because the line is not in the shape of the bell. It's clear that the highest bin is very close to 7%. And here the y-hat graph box. Given box above describes the 75% of the data. The median located inside of the box is equal to 2007. Two lines that span from the first quartile given 25% of information. One in the up describes the highest point in prediction, which is almost 2016, while the opposite one is 1992. Here is other table, y-hat table. In that case, Shapiro-Wilk test checks if a statistical test used to assess whether a dataset follows a normal distribution. The value of W ranges from between 0 and 1. In our result, the prediction value is normal distributed as the value of W is very close to 1. In this table, probability of y-hat is significant, except in this test, p-values need to be lower than 0.005, which is 5%. Here we can see as a residual histogram. The residual value is negatively skewed because the cursive line is moving to the left side, and it's not normal distributed because the line is not in the shape of the bell. It's clear that the highest bin is very close, 3%, while the lowest one equals 0.5%. Here is my other plot, which is scatter plot. We can see here we did also analysis when it comes to two-way y-hats, and here we have other linear regression tables. In this case, my results and analysis are over. So now I'm gonna show you the PPT presentation of Czech Republic. It's also the presentation in which I mentioned like 18 criterias. So here it starts. First, I mentioned the learning outcomes, and here is the official website, and here is the acronyms and abbreviations, and here is the literature review from the LSET, and here is the references. And I also mentioned why I choose this country, and I also gave general information about the country. I also showed the flag and the location in the map. Here is also some information about the history, and here is the graphs that mention its economic growth during the certain period of time. And here is a little bit information about its agriculture, forest and fishery, and here is also information about energy sector. And here is graphs which showcases us the information when it comes to its energy sectors. Here is also information about its industry. So as we can see, my presentation, my PPT is full of different kind of information. So now let's enter to the criterias and see. I have done a word interpretation. So in that case we will press plus, and I also showed my PPT video. I'm also doing a screen recording. I'm also defending, and I also did a screen recording. And here I also mentioned the analysis of finding slope and those things. So thank you for your attention, And I want to say that this research was really helpful because I found the way how to calculate everything by my own self, and just by working with data I understood that how much it becomes easier if we use data often for our research. So thank you for your attention.